WTM Ministers Summit challenges sector to rethink tourism. Tourism leaders from across the globe will convene again for the Ministers Summit at World Travel Market London, the 7th to the 9th of November 2022. The UNWTO and WTTC Summit at WTM will facilitate a debate around ways to reimagine the sector's future, driving its economic development while tackling the climate crisis. The world's largest annual gathering of tourism ministers will take place on Tuesday, 8 November 2022, during World Travel Market, the foremost global event for the travel industry, where the future of travel starts now. Ministers, industry bosses, youth representatives, and experts are being invited to take part in the summit, entitled Rethinking Tourism. Since 2007, World Travel Market London and the United Nations World Tourism Organization (UNWTO) have worked together to host the top-level annual summit, focusing on key opportunities and challenges facing the sector. The 2022 summit will provide a timely forum for the UNWTO, the World Travel and Tourism Council (WTTC), and government ministers representing every region across the world to join tourism leaders from the private sector to share ideas, shape future policies, and support recovery. Zainab Badawi, BBC World News journalist, will moderate the summit, bringing together both the public and private sector to ensure a fair but thought-provoking discussion is had. Juliette Lasardo, WTM London Exhibition Director, said, "This will be the 16th Ministers Summit at World Travel Market, bringing policy makers together to debate with private sector leaders and youth representatives, all of them sharing their vision for the future of our sector. We will ask how we tackle the major threats to the industry's recovery after the upheaval and consequences of the pandemic, and how ministers can support tourism businesses and destinations to realize their enormous potential." Last year's summit looked at ways to create a more sustainable future, and this year's event will build on that progress, examining how we can balance our climate responsibilities with the need to develop tourism jobs and economic opportunities. The summit will offer a chance for new voices with fresh ideas, those offering technological solutions and young people with innovative outlooks. We need to ensure that young people are included in the decision-making process and taking active roles in shaping the way our sector evolves. UNWTO, the United Nations Agency for Tourism, is leading the conversation as the sector looks to build a more inclusive, resilient, and sustainable sector. It helped shape the Glasgow Declaration on Climate Action in Tourism, which launched officially at the UN Climate Change Conference (COP26) last November and has attracted more than 600 signatories in less than a year. In July, the UNWTO held its Global Youth Tourism Summit, which concluded with the launch of the Sorrento Call to Action, a bold and groundbreaking vision for young people to participate actively in tourism's sustainable, inclusive recovery. Zarab Polilikashvili, UNWTO Secretary-General, said, "We've taken great strides since last year's Ministers Summit, thanks to developments such as the Glasgow Declaration and Global Youth Tourism Summit. This year's Ministers Summit at WTM will consolidate our progress and help formulate far-reaching strategies and action to ensure all regions and all sectors in tourism can build back in a responsible and successful way." WTTC recently launched its Net Zero Roadmap for the global travel and tourism sector, which will support the industry in combating climate change. The roadmap provides concrete guidelines and recommendations to help guide businesses on their journey towards net zero. Julia Simpson, WTTC President and CEO, added, "The annual Ministers Summit is a unique chance to ask the most important questions about how the travel and tourism sector of tomorrow will look, and to find solutions to enable us to achieve our goals and ambitions." The travel and tourism sector is a catalyst for meaningful climate action and emissions reduction, as evidenced by our groundbreaking Net Zero Roadmap supporting our sector's drive toward net zero. Ministers Summit at World Travel Market, in association with UNWTO and WTTC, Rethinking Tourism, takes place on Tuesday, 8 November 2022, on World Travel Market London's future stage from 10.30 to 12.30.